Leesburg. So we are still in the month of November for just a little while longer. Our theme for 2025 is rising higher and growing deeper. And I think you'll agree with me. If you've been coming on a regular basis, we really have been doing those two things, rising higher and growing deeper, with our talks and our messages this year. So what's the title of our talk today? You can see on the screen. It is Grateful for Kith and Kin, and that will be given by our wonderful Reverend Charlene. We are so happy that you joined us today, and we're very grateful in this week where we practice gratitude by ramping it up just a little bit, right? Thanksgiving is Thursday. If you have any prayer concerns or celebrations that you would like us to include in the chat, be sure to include those, and we will incorporate them when we get to the prayer portion of our service, which we call spiritual mind treatment. It's a form of affirmative prayer, and Reverend Charlene will be taking us through that after our talk today. So I think that's it. That's what I have to say to get things started. Sit back, take a deep breath. You made it, and enjoy our welcoming video. Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be of service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly, and so it is. All right, so if you have your journal, if you are a member of CSL Leesburg, the affirmation for today is, I am grateful for the unique beauty, brilliance, and diversity of my local ecosystem. So with that in mind, grateful for Kith and Kin, here is a meditation for oneness with all. So take a moment again, relax, settle a little deeper into your chair. Become aware if there's any tension that you're carrying anywhere in your body. And we have good sound there. Thank you, Reverend Charlene. Maybe your shoulders, your neck, places where we typically carry a little bit of tension or stress. And just get a little love as you relax those places. And let's begin with a few deep breaths. So we inhale and hold. and release. And once again, inhale and hold and release. Now, the images on your screen are these beautiful videos, moments in nature. And today I'm going to encourage you, if you typically close your eyes, to just look at those images and add the beauty of those scenes to your meditation. Because today we're going to focus on the magical, incredible, magnificent world around us. So I'd like you to visualize one of your favorite places in nature, or like I said, look at that shot on that screen with those beautiful mountains and that perfect azure blue sky and the lake. And here come the beautiful, beautiful leaves of autumn. If you don't live in a place where the seasons change, just soak it in, because that truly is what I would see on my morning commute. So beautiful, although the road was paved. So just picture your favorite place or sink into those videos. And as you take in the beauty of nature, I want you to realize that you are a part of that. You are wonderfully and divinely created, just like that waterfall, just like that collection of autumn leaves and trees, just like that rock formation, just like that monarch butterfly that we saw earlier. You are all part of that. You are part of that tapestry. And now I want to add something else. In addition to watching the screen and all those beautiful images, imagine the night sky. One of the favorite things that I like to do in the evening is to go outside and just look up and realize I'm part of this night sky with those trillions of stars, right? And the planets. And I get so excited when I can see Venus, or I can spot Mars, or my little app that helps me out, I can spot Jupiter, Saturn. And on most nights, not every night, but most nights, I can look at the moon and enjoy how it changes. Sometimes it's a full moon. Last night it was the most gorgeous crescent. And just realizing that you too are part of nature. Everything that's on this earth is made up of atoms, made up of chemicals like hydrogen and helium and nitrogen and carbon dioxide and carbon nitrogen and all those things that Mafi might know and be familiar with a little bit more than I am. But we're all made of the same stuff. That's really amazing, isn't it? So as you picture this beautiful, beautiful sunset, or maybe in your mind's eye, you're still staring up at that night sky, or perhaps you're still in that favorite place that I told you to visualize at the beginning of the meditation. Just remember that you too are a part of this. And you too are filled with beauty and brilliance, inner light that just shines out. And everyone and everything on our beautiful planet is made of the same stuff. We are all one. And we're all connected to each other. We are many. We are unique. We each have our role and our purpose. But we're all part of this beautiful universe. And with that, and thoughts of gratitude for this wonderful knowledge that we have, I'll bring you back so that we can enjoy some music by Leah.
We are waves of the same ocean. We are rays of one bright sun. We are leaves in a changing forest, sharing breath since time began. In the same fountain, we are blades in a flowing field. We are sand in a shining desert. As we recall, we are here. As we recall, we are here.
Wow, wow, wow. That was amazing, that whole video. And then Tamara, thank you for taking us all through nature because what a perfect synchronicity. You brought to mind the universe and all the stars, and the only missing visuals we had were the universe with the stars. Leah, you never disappoint. Thank you, hon. All right. So, welcome, welcome to the fourth week of November. You know, there are 5 Sundays in November. And this one talks about kith and kin. Now, when you think about kith and kin, because you and I probably were born and raised in the US, many times we conflate those two words to be the same thing. Kith and kin meaning your people. But it turns out kith means something slightly different in England, where it was first coined. So when it comes to the word kith, what they mean is intimacy with the landscape in which you dwell. So it has to do with the things around you. Think of it as the 1 mile radius of where you live right now. That's your kithship. Your kinship is your family, and they could live all over the world. Your kith is what's around you, not just the people, but it's also your neighbors. And it's also that rock, your favorite rock, you know, the one with the slant on it that if you really were agile, you could jump on top of it and proclaim king of the mountain. But now that you're of a certain age, you don't do that. That rock, you know, the one. And then there's that one road, maybe it is paved and maybe it does have those fall colors at a certain time of the year. That's your kith. So kith and kin. It's where we are and it's who we are, all blended into one. And a woman wrote a book about it. Jay Griffith, wrote a book, Kith. Then she realized, oh snap, this is going to be spread beyond just the UK. So let me go ahead and retitle this. So she retitled it A Country Called Childhood, because it's the idea of where you grew up or where you call home and the things you see on your way as you totter around the world. Now, in a modern age when you can, in the stroke of a finger on an app, call forth to your doorstep many things. If not within hours, within at least a 2-day shipping promise, you could have anything you want. And while that is convenient for those of us who are physically incapable of leaving the house because of certain limitations that physically, we just, some people are not able to just run around and go shopping all day. I get it. And a lot of our technology conveniences have been born of, first, let's help make accessible those things to people who don't have a lot of movement. But the problem is, we are perfectly capable to go down to the store and say hi to the shopkeeper and grab a couple of whatever items. And then see that same shopkeeper the next day because each day you need these items. No, that's not happening. No, we will have a nice little box delivered right to our doorstep. Is there anything wrong with that? Not necessarily, but here's the thing. When we don't leave our domicile because of our tightly packed schedule, then we do find the conveniences, well, convenient. And when you have more money than time, then it's really convenient. But what are we losing when we're not out there interacting with our kith? When we're not walking that same path or maybe a slightly different path to see and smell and interact with nature? We might start to call things it. Look at that squirrel, it. Look at that tree, it. Well, Robin Wall Kimmerer, who, let me make sure I got her name right. You know, the one that wrote Braiding Sweetgrass. She says the biggest problem with modern Western language is that we call nature it. We've got to stop calling nature it because it starts to feel like an object that we can just swing around and control, that we're not interacting with a being. It's not a he or a she. It's a it, which means, knock it over, cut it down. Raise it. That's kind of the idea that would be taking us out of our kithship, out of our kinship with Mother Earth, and maybe start living in spite of it, or just treating it as if it's a adversary. So if we were to think about the word kinship and kithship, it does share the ki beginning, and it's not a mistake. In fact, the book that she wrote, scrolling down one moment, Kara Hunter Moon wrote a book called Kith and Kin Pronouns. And even Robin Wall Kimmerer says in her article, nature needs a new pronoun. These two agree with each other. What if we use the word ki, K-I? And what if that meant a personhood, a beinghood of Mother Nature, so that no object, be it a created object crafted from wood or plastic, or an object that grew out of the ground, none of these objects would be it. It would be ki. It would be ki, which says, I see in you that you have a beingness. There's a beingness in you, which means I'm part of you. Well, that's tricky. That's tricky because a lot of us sometimes look at other whole humans and say, ooh, I'm part of you, but not that one. I'm oneness with all mankind except that one. We love to take our faves and make it part of us. And then we love to take our ew and put it over there and call it them. And then conveniently, we take all the things we like and things we identify with, whether it's true or not. We identify with it. So we're like, oh, that's us. And then anything that we're kind of ashamed of, or it's the shadow, and we go, ooh, that's them. And so that'll keep us in that dichotomy. It keeps us in that black and white binary, good, bad, flinging back and forth, trying to place everybody in little buckets. That's convenient when you're 4 years old, but it's not convenient now. Now, why do I say that? I was sitting there and thinking about all this, and I was like, yikes. There's so much of my life that I could bring in to make this a personal story, But I decided to stick with the tried and true villains versus the good guys. And when you're 4 years old, it's real clear in the stories that we teach our 4-year-olds. And I'm saying four because I think right around, the time when you're trying to teach a kid right and wrong, there's an obvious bad guy. He almost walks in with bad guy right on his forehead, right? And everybody's going to root for, you got it, the good guy, the one that makes the right choices all the time. And it's so easy to see because it's black and white and we really want them to bring it home. But then you get older. You get older and you start realizing, hold up, I'm noticing a few things. First of all, sometimes I just show up in life and people treat me like I'm the bad guy. And they don't even know me. What is that? And then you learn about prejudice and racism. You're like, oh, that's fun. No, it's not fun. And then you realize, am I doing that? Am I also doing that? Am I choosing to see certain things and experiences as good or bad and not allowing beings to just exist within the nuances of life happens to you? And sometimes it's not your proudest moment. Does that make you a good person or a bad person? And there's nuance and there's movement, and that which appears good in one sense will also be bad in another sense. Yikes, growing up is tricky. So we talk about this, or I mentioned a minute ago, how kithship and kinship, how your 1 square mile is a thing. There's nothing better than this story, I have to tell you, because I've had a dog for 3 years now, almost. Let me tell you, it's wild. And I don't know if I switch timelines or if, I don't know, you tell me. This dog and I love her to death. We walk all over the place, and there's a consistent angry dog that hates us. And he doesn't always bark at everybody, but he always barks at us. He's fluffy, big white fluffy dog. I think I don't know, looks like a bear. It's cute, but it's mean. And its owner is this narrow man who can barely hold on to his dog, and that dog just, and I'm like, is he racist, the big white fluffy dog? Because every time he sees me and Centauri, he's all from his balcony, from down the street, and to the point where he's trying to drag his owner, and he just looks mean. And I'm just like, I don't know what happened to that dog, but we're avoiding it. Every time I see that dog, because he's obvious, he's big and white and fluffy, I go, whoop, turn the other way, go across the street. I avoid this dog at all costs. You know where this is going. The one day that I figured out, let's just say hi. There he is. Let's just walk up to the dog. This dog was like, I just wanted to say hi. And he licky, and Centauri and him are like, whoa. And I'm just like, okay, what the heck? Did I switch timelines? Did I do that? Or what happened? And it's just weird. And I think I switched timelines only because other things happened. I just started being curious. What if I'm just experiencing my good and bad thing that I learned when I was like 4, that I could tell who's good, I could tell who's bad. I'm going to avoid the bad ones. I'm going to go toward the good ones. What if I have it backwards? What if they are what I say they are? And so I was just testing stuff out, and it turns out, oh my God, this dog. Now, like yesterday, Centauri and I are walking. That dog's on his deck, barking. And I mean, to the point where usually we see the dog on the deck. He sees us, and then he runs through the house and gets to the front of their townhouse and keeps on barking. And it's funny, but now we see the dog barking. And then all of a sudden the owner takes him outside, meets us. Centauri notices, oh, they're outside now. And I was like, oh, hi. So we turn around and go toward them, and the dogs are like, hey girl, hey. And then we continue on our way. What is happening right now? I don't even know. I took a picture of it because I'm like, there's a story here. Jeez. So I just have to say that even in our little 1 square mile, things aren't what they appear. They're not. So barring the fact that I switched timelines, which is weird, I don't even know what that even means. So I'll have to say that it must be what changed was I got curious about what if it's not like that? What if it's how I say it is? What if I get to choose whether people like us or not, or whether... And I don't know if that happens every time, but it happened that time. And we get to experiment in our 1 mile radius. And what if it works? What if everything we thought about ourselves is true until we say it's not true? What if that's what's going on? Then it would actually confirm what Ernest Holmes said. So I'm going to read you this. So if we're thinking about moving through the world, we've got Kith, which is the places where we go. We've got Kin, which is the people that we're related to. And if we're going to try and make the world a better place, remember that's one of our goals as Science of Mind, Center for Spiritual Living, then I think it bears it out. All right, so listen. The first statement of belief, when you go to our Science of Mind or CSL homepage, the organization, the big organization, it says, we believe in God. You see, they had to say that. Because you know your family members are going to be like, y'all are a cult. You don't even believe in God. All right, so the first sentence you see on what we believe in God. All right, what else does it say? The living spirit almighty. Because we don't want you to think it's some guy in the sky. No, God, to Center for Spiritual Living, it is the living spirit, the almighty one, the indestructible, the absolute, the cause that is self-existent. It created itself. It's always here. This one manifests itself in and through. So I'll say it again. This one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. It is not only its creation, it is more than this. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. That's the first what we believe. And it goes on for like 12 more. Well, we believe in God, but not the God that they might have taught you about when you were a kid. Because come on, all you had in your brain was a good and bad Santa Claus kind of figure. That's what that was for. But now we've no nuance. God is the self-existent energy that created life itself. And it flung its intention throughout the galaxies and throughout the universe. You saw the images. And it's living out its life as you, as me, as the dog, as that other dog, as the flower, as the grass, as the poop, gotta poop, and all the things. That's God. We're not separate from it at all. So if that's true, then who are we harming when we just treat nature as an it? Who are we harming? We're harming ourselves. And who are we harming when we judge them and we take our little preferred attributes and we put it in an us pile, and anything we don't like, we'll put it over there and call it them, and then spend the rest of our waking moments yelling at them? Who are we hurting? Ourselves. But there's a higher thing, and it's always available to us. We don't have to go to school and graduate or take 15 therapist appointments and then arrive at the conclusion that maybe they're not out to get me. We just make a momentary choice to see it differently, and all of a sudden that mean dog is like, "Hey girl, how you doing?" What? Because we are it. It is us. We only are separate when that's what we cling to. Because it's always yes. The universe says, okay, yes. And the universe does not say, are you sure you want that thing that's going to hurt? It just says yes. If you have a trained thought on something that you believe, it will give you that. Because the universe is not going to work against itself, because then it would collapse. The whole beingness of everything would always work with us. And when we have our mind set on something that's not for our highest good, guess what? There's a system called cause and effect, otherwise negative consequences. It happens. It might not happen right away. But the laws of nature and spiritual laws of cause and effect, some call it karma, will keep us from harming ourselves long term. It will take whatever hurts right now and turn it into I just learned a lesson. And if it's really good, you'll sit in front of other people and tell them about the lesson you learned. And then those people will go, oh my God, I had the same experience. goodness will travel even faster than the yucky stuff. I know. Tell that to the algorithms, am I right? Good feelings, goodness, higher vibration travels much faster and a higher frequency than all the lower stuff that would drag it down. Necessarily so, because if it were the other way around, we wouldn't exist. You need destruction in order to build higher and better, but if it was all destruction, then we wouldn't exist. So it's just logical if you look at it. Because I think about this, now I think about how nature gave us things like ticks. Y'all know I had Blake pull a tick out of my body, It's weird. It's just weird, you guys. And the way it went, when it was disgusting. All right, fine. So I had a tick. It was in my body. And I'm like, okay, God, explain ticks to me. And, well, it didn't really explain ticks to me. The divine said, well, I've handled ticks by also adding a raccoon who likes to eat the ticks and a possum, which likes to eat like it's a whole thing. It's it's an ecosystem. And I'm like, you're telling me all of these, every single thing that I can look at, things that I can't even see, has a reason for being that is part of the whole. Even a gnat. Gnats are also food for something. And so we know this, so think about squirrels in two different ways. Okay, two different ways. Did you know that a squirrel will hide acorns in a forest and then forget where 80% of them are? You know, they hide them because that's in their nature, because they want to save for winter. And so they scurry around and they get all the acorns and they put them places and they're like, now where did I put? I swear I had more than these. The forgotten acorns become trees. That's how you get a forest. The other way is the other outside of fine. Whatever the squirrel eats goes through the squirrel. Typically, that thing it eats has seeds. Guess what passes through the digestive system? The seed. And guess what they have to do every now and then? Just like all of us do that thing that we all know of. And that plants seeds as well. It's wild. It's wild to me that it all just works. And it's not by accident. It's just if we slow down and have a gander. We don't have to really leave our building or where we're working or create some elevated, extravagant plan to go out and get into nature. As I mentioned to Melinda a couple of weeks ago, I was like, I am nature. All I have to do is go in and I'm in nature. Like, I am nature. For people to say, you must leave everything and go out and unplug, that's probably useful too. I mean, I'm not going to lie. But you don't have to wait to get into nature. Do it now. And for a while, we're still nature. I can't tell you where we're going with AI and implants and augmentation and Android connected bodies. We don't have that right now. So today we are nature. And even if that does become the future, even that is made up of things that came out of nature. I feel like it's just turtles all the way down. It's a philosopher question. What's underneath turtles? What's the turtle standing on? Another turtle. And what is that standing on? Another turtle. It's turtles all the way down. It's how we explain the cosmos and tongue-in-cheek. But we're one with everything, even if our mind might have us creating little piles of us and them, good and bad, right and wrong. The pesky part about those little piles is that everybody changes places all the time. So now I brought you in at the 4-year-old that's reading a story of something, The Wicked Witch or whatever, or even The Wizard of Oz, those of you who just have seen Wicked. And when you find out more about the so-called villain, the way they change places is insane. Like, that is life. When we look at a moment in time, you can see how someone's role is currently villain and someone else's role is currently hero. But stay watching long enough. Ask enough questions, and you'll find them switching roles often. Because we need each other. There's a reciprocity moving through and as us, and the universe is expanding through us. It's evolving as us. So we all kind of have to play a role in each other's shoes. I have to play the hero in my life sometimes. And if I play the villain on purpose in my life, well, I have questions for myself. Like, nobody intentionally says, I'm going to go in there and be the villain. No, in their story, they're coming on in there to save the day. It's the teasing between the dichotomies that give us the story and give us the narrative, but we're never caught up. It's not just that. There's something higher going on, and it's us interacting with us to feel more of what we came here to feel. So we're not putting it off. We're going to get into whatever it is we're feeling today, and we're going to experience this nature out in the world. And we're going to just have a feeling of higher kinship, higher kithship, knowing that we really are one and there is no other. So with that, let's go into prayer. Ooh, Dan shared something interesting. Stick around for the pearls, so we'll find out more about what that is. All right, let's go within and have a prayer, just knowing that right where we are, there's the divine. Right where we are, God is. Because God is everywhere, present, and there's no spot that you could go that would not be present with the divine. So knowing that it's right where we are, we simply sit and we deepen into that presence, to the awareness of the presence. It has never been absent. It was always here. In this presence, there is infinite capabilities, infinite possibilities, anything that we can dream, we can actually experience. And knowing that we're one with the entire universe, we dream of things that are harmonious with the bigger picture. We dream of dreams that bring forth upliftment for all involved. We dream of the highest good for everyone. And in that moment, the divine just says yes, and then we just embrace all that is harmonious. We do not deny that sickness does exist. So therefore, if anyone is in the moment of feeling a need for wholeness and healing, I speak my word now, that may the universal love, health, wholeness, and well-being express itself even more fully through you. If there's any sense of strife, separation, fear, war, rumors of war, I speak my word that even in that space, there's an evolving and emerging sense of unity, wholeness, and harmony. For everything is possible through the divine. So I give thanks that this is true. I'm so excited and so grateful to be able to experience more and more of the magnificence of the one. And I know this is true for all of us. So I simply give thanks, I let it be, and so it is. Amen. Ashe. And now Leah has another song for us.
Walk with me by the edge of the sea. Walk with me under starlight. Oh, time after time, if we could turn back the tide, we could walk this way forever. But it's just for tonight, 'cause in the morning you'll be gone. Dance with me by the edge of the sea. Dance with me under moonlight. Time after time, if we could turn back the tide, we could dance this way forever, but it's just for tonight. 'Cause in the morning I'll be gone. Everything changes, everything changes. Nothing is here for long. Everything changes, everything changes, and then it's gone. Stay with me by the edge of the sea. Oh, won't you stay with me until the dawn's light? Oh, time after time, if we could turn back the time, we could stay this way forever, but it's just for tonight. For in the morning we'll be gone. Everything changes, everything changes. Nothing is here for long. Everything changes, everything changes. Nothing is here for long. Everything changes, everything changes. Nothing is here for long. Everything changes, everything changes, then it's gone.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that was absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. It's always hard to talk after Leah sings. It's hard to leave that space that she takes us to and kind of come back and join you. All right, folks, we have to move on because we are mindful and respectful of your time. So let's move on to the time where we show our gratitude for the donations that you give. So at CSL Leesburg, as you heard in the opening video, we believe in the law of circulation. So as you give, you shall receive. Because you are able to give, you allow us to keep doing what we do to bring the message to you and the music and workshops and classes and all that. And if you're a regular member or a regular visitor to CSL Leesburg, odds are you found a way to give. And if not, there's a little reminder of how you can give up on the screen. So with all that being said, please join me in the blessing of our gifts. Say it with me. The presence of spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. And so it is. All right, announcements. So our conscious giving, there's a little QR code that you can get. And I also think that Charlene put something in our chat where we want to ask you, how can you give? Time, you can be a volunteer. Talent, again, sharing your talents and volunteering those. Maybe you can host a workshop. Maybe you can offer some special class. And then there's always treasure and the donations. I want to remind you, whatever we bring in at CSL Leesburg, help us do what we do on Sundays, like I mentioned, but we also tithe. We give to our home organization that supplies the material for our Sunday messages, that supplies these wonderful journals that many of you have, that supplies the materials for the classes and some of our workshops. And also, we don't just feed here, but we share. And we look for organizations that share our belief in helping to create a world that works for everyone. So each quarter, what comes in for that quarter, we look for organizations that we can send them a check to say, thank you. You are doing wonderful work. You're helping to create a world that works for everyone. And we look for a variety of places that we can give. Sometimes it's local, sometimes it's national, sometimes it's global. And that's one way that we take what you give to us and keep the law of circulation going. So there is something that's been dropped into the chat. If you haven't done so, please do so. And we shifted gears just a little bit because we're kind of flexible here, right? We follow your lead. We weren't quite ready for our annual membership meeting today, as formally announced. We want to give you a little more time. And we want to put together something really special. So our membership board, our leadership board will be working on this. We want to do a year in review. We want to do a recognition of the celebrations and also a memorial for people that we've lost throughout the year. We want to celebrate the new members that we've added on during the year. We want to review the budget. And of course, we have to approve the budget so that we're ready for 2026. So we shifted gears. We moved that to next Sunday. I hope you're not disappointed that you don't have a meeting today after service. Are you okay with that? We're going to do it next Sunday after service, November 30th. Mark your calendars and plan on joining us from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So that will be our annual membership meeting. All right. Charlene gave us a wonderful teaser about Pearl. So stay and join us. Afterwards, we share whatever moved you, whatever thoughts you had. I filled up my little journal. I can't wait to add my little thoughts on something that Charlene said during the service. This is what we call pearls. So we talk about what really resonated with us, what thoughts we had during the meditation or the music or the message. And we just kind of hang out. This is our virtual coffee hour. So if you can, please stay for our pearls after this closing affirmation. And if not, we're going to send you off with our love and blessings. So let's do our closing affirmation. Are you ready? It's been a busy week, right? Remind yourself of the things that you heard during the meditation and the message, and maybe even the music. You are magnificently created. You are part of the beautiful, wonderful oneness that is this universe. So wrap your hands around yourself. Say it loud and proud. Ready? I am love.
I am love.
Woo, wonderful. Now, look around. There might be somebody with you. It might be family, friend, furry companion. Or, you know what I always say, I believe that since we are one, you can send this out to anyone that you want. Let's send out that message. You are love.
You are love.
Beautiful.
Hey, what happened?
I don't know.
Why aren't they unmuting?
All right, turn on the mics. Turn on the mics. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. You ready? Maybe there's some button.
Let me see.
Okay.
Did I?
I don't know.
No.
I see Julie. I'm going to hear Julie. If anybody else wants to turn on their mic, let's do it. You ready?
Yes.
Just shout it so we can all hear it. Ready?
Okay.
It's all love.
It's all
love.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right. Thank you for joining us today. Please stay if you can. And if not, we're going to send you off with our love and blessing.